Welcome back to the Bars and Sticks Trader channel. Today I'm going to be focused on trend reversals, where I can get in and where I need to get out if I'm wrong. So looking at this, that's the opening price, and that was the high. Here was the low, so I'll draw a line over here. And then the price began to move up. Notice the moving average. The moving average is flat. Then the price moved down. Now this area here, this is what's important to me. Because if the price begins to drop into that area and below this line, I'm probably wrong and it would be a good idea to exit the position. Now if I'm correct, I'll move above this high. That's where I'll enter. And I'll look for the movement to go up. How far? I don't know. Just up. So now I'd like to take this to the real live markets and practice. See if I can find this picture. That'll be important. And then if I can actually enter and follow those rules. So let's go to the live market and see what happens. Alright, so now things will be a little different. The bars are moving. So if I look at this, here was that low, and the price began to move upwards. And then the price began to move back down again. But if I draw this line straight across, here was that low. This is the area. So now if I look over to the right, I'll notice that the setup is similar. It's not exactly the same. It doesn't match perfectly, but conceptually it's still the same. I had to move down. It created a low. It moved higher. It moved down. Created another low. This was the high. And then this was the bar that moved above that high. And that was the entry. And the entry happened after this completed. This line right here, this line, that represents my average price. So my average price is $154.04. Now if I go ahead and clean this up, I have to be prepared for what's to come. So there's a number of things that could happen. The first one is this could immediately turn and move down here. Now if that happens, that's probably bad. So I would want to exit with the loss. And the other thing that could happen is it could move up a little bit, and then it could begin to move down slowly. And then move up and move down slowly. Now this picture, that's not necessarily as bad. Now what I need to do now is as this begins to move up, notice the number of bars, it moves up into this area. Since it's moving straight up, I'm going to put an order out to reduce the risk. So I'll take a few shares away to reduce my risk, just in case it does turn back around and come back here. I'd prefer not to lose right now. So that's what that red mark is. Now that order was filled, and this will continue to move higher. Now the next area that I'm interested in is this area over here. So if this price begins to move up here, that's the next area that I will look to begin to reduce the risk as well. So I'll leave that line right here. Now I'd like to focus a little bit more on what happens if it goes the other way. Now notice the size of these bars. They're just moving straight up. If this were to make a down bar, and another down bar, and another down bar, that wouldn't be bad either. Now it's beginning to move above that line, so I'll look to start reducing the risk as well. Now these are actually a little challenging to play. And the reason why is because they move up so quickly that one just has to react to the action that's happening, as opposed to something like this, off to the left. These are controlled bars. They happen slowly. It's a little easier to deal with. Now each one of these bars here, those are 2 minutes. So now I'll continue to wait. Now if this immediately reverses down to here, then I'll most likely close the position. However, if this begins to move down in very slow increments, like the following, and then we're to put in another setup, I could add to that position. Now I took a little bit off. Notice this. Remember what I said, if it began to move back down? So that's the end of the position, and it's completely closed.